The internet disgusts me. I hate the internet so much. One thing the internet has created is noise. A lot of noise. And when I say noise, I don't mean actual noise. When I say noise, I mean that it overloads your brain with a bunch of things that you probably don't even need. It's created so much noise to the point where people drown in noise, but they don't actually realize that they're drowning in noise. They think that it's normal. And I get it, people like how the internet, you can basically find anything you want, you can look up anything you want. If you want to know about something or do some research, it's pretty simple, especially with ChatGPT. Now, I'm not denying the usefulness of the internet, but the internet has caused so many illusions and it's destroyed so many aspects about humanity. One thing the world had before the internet was mystery. And not only mystery, but curiosity. Now, obviously, people are still curious about things, but it's a bit different nowadays. Before the internet, if you were curious about something, you would not be able to just use ChatGPT and just look things up online and all that extra stuff. No, what you would do is you would dwell in your own thoughts, and your curiosity would actually, it could actually turn into creativity. You weren't just spoon-fed information that you were curious about. Because think about it now. Now if you're curious about something, you could just look on Reddit and type in whatever you're curious about, or use ChatGPT. Or you could just do it the old school way and just type it in on Google search. Either way, in 2025, curiosity dies the moment it's born. You think of something and within 10 seconds, you have an answer. It's replaced by a definitive answer. There's absolutely no way to just have curiosity just breathe a little bit. Just give us some space. There is no mystery whatsoever. There is no silence where you just dwell in your own thoughts. It's like our minds basically outsourced our curiosity to Google, to ChatGPT, to Reddit. And in my opinion, there was some sort of joy in not knowing. There was some sort of joy in the mystery. But now in 2025, you can know what's happening across the world. You can know everything about a random place across the world that has nothing to do with you. For example, you could live in a place like, Texas or something. If you do some research, watch some videos, you could know everything about a random city in China. A random city that you're probably never going to visit. You can know the dialect they speak. You can know their cultural traditions. You can know what everyday life is like, and that's because of the internet. The days of just pondering and just thinking about what something may be like, it just feels like it's been long gone. And I think this is one of the main reasons why I just don't really care about traveling anymore. Because a lot of these places, like, for example, Tokyo, that's a place that a lot of people want to travel to. I did want to go there at one point, but now I'm just like, what's the point? I've seen so many YouTube videos, just anything that showcases what Japan is like. So I already have that mental image. So it's not even really something I'm curious about. So what's the point? There's no room left to just think about, I wonder what Japan is like. I wonder what Tokyo is like. No, you get all of the information on your phone, on the internet. So what's the point of even bothering? Once you get that information, it just becomes predictable and there's no point in actually going. And you might say, oh, well, it's a different experience if you go there in person yourself. You're right, that's not the point though. My point is that it would be a much better experience if this internet thing didn't exist and then I traveled there. Because a lot of things would surprise me. But in today's internet and digital age, things won't really surprise me because that's what I already expect. Now let's talk about connection. Connection is perhaps one of the biggest illusions the internet gave us. In theory, it sounds beautiful, right? You can connect with people all across the world. Something you obviously could not do before the internet. But this connection is an illusion. It's not real. At least in my opinion, it makes the world feel so much smaller. It makes the world also way less mysterious, which I was saying before. It's so normalized to just be talking to people that you've never met, talking to people that are across the world or across the country, But this is also a part of the noise I was talking about. Because let's be real, we're never going to really see most of the people we talk to online. And when I say online, whether it be Discord servers, Reddit, random internet message boards, just any way of communicating with people that you don't know. These are people you will most likely never have a connection with. You're not talking to a person, you're talking to a profile picture. And I'll give you guys an example. Look at my channel. If you're new to this channel, basically my entire channel is just me expressing my thoughts, my worldviews. And a lot of people relate to my worldviews, but it does not feel like connection to me. I'm not going to be one of those fake people that are talking about, I love my subscribers. I don't love my subscribers. I appreciate my subscribers, but I'm not going to pretend to be friends with them. We are not friends. We are just people that happen to have similar worldviews. I've even had subscribers of mine tell me, yo, we should be friends in real life. What are you talking about? The only thing I can see on my screen is a profile picture. Why would I engage in some sort of friendship with a profile picture and attempt to make something real of it? No. We're all just people across the world that happen to have similar beliefs. That's it. The internet deceives us by making us think that there could be depth to this, but there can't. That's why the moment I close my laptop, the moment I upload the video, I go out into the real world. I have zero satisfaction with talking to people online. None whatsoever. The internet sold this idea of connection, but what it really created was a simulation of connection. Constant interactions without presence. Everyone's surrounded by people, but they can still feel lonely. And they most likely will. Because there's no presence. It's kinda as if the more connected the world became via internet, the more disconnected people feel inside. Because the internet and this digital realm, it's like, look at this, you have so many people online that you can make friends with. Oh my god, so many people. And then deep down, you know this is not really connection. Deep down, you're really missing out on something. Just think about the way we communicate with people. Even people we know and, have added on Discord and other stuff. We primarily communicate through text. Nowadays, it's not really a thing to just randomly call. Your primary form of connection, if you're not in their immediate vicinity, is texting. That's not real interaction. It's words on a screen. That's what it is. There's no presence. There's no emotion. There's no body language. And if it's Discord, it's not only words on a screen, but at that point, it's just words on a screen along with a profile picture. That's what you think connection is, guys. And to me, that's a joke. That's not called connection. And it's absolutely absurd how this is deemed as connection. It's deemed as normal. The internet made people afraid of solitude. Before this internet nonsense, people just used to think, ponder, and solitude and being alone, it wasn't labeled as negative. It didn't really mean too much. But now that the internet has sold us all this illusion of connection, most of us do not want to be alone. We want to be talking on social media, texting. I mean, dude, people actually get depressed because no one texts them. Seriously. You're craving something that's not even real. You want interaction, but what you're craving with this texting stuff, that's not interaction. And the way I see it, I don't even like texting. Texting is just the worst way of communicating, hands down. If I'm gonna talk to a person, then I'd prefer if they were right in front of my face. And this goes with Discord as well. I don't care about Discord. I don't even care. Even if you say, oh, but you can video chat. I don't care. That's not real. If you have to funnel connection through a screen, through a device, then that seriously makes me question the authenticity of this connection. People actually have serious conversations through Discord. They pour their heart and soul out to someone on Discord. No one can really feel what they're actually feeling. And the moment both users log out, that's it. The world around them continues. It doesn't feel like you've been heard. It doesn't feel like it at all. There is no trace of emotion lingering in your room. just a chat history. Now let's talk about boredom. I think boredom was a more normal thing before the internet, but correct me if I'm wrong, because I am only 24 years old. I was born in 2001, so I don't have all the information, I don't know everything. Personally, when I'm bored, I just stare at the ceiling, maybe listen to some music, and usually I would just try to think about anything, it doesn't matter. But now people are afraid of being bored. So what do they end up doing? Scrolling TikTok. There is no room to actually think. It's hard to have creativity being sparked in your mind when you funnel your boredom and everything into a device. Before the internet, if you were bored, you'd at least have silence that belonged to you. Your world was your room. It was everything inside of your room, maybe something outside as well that's making noise. But that's real noise. Now in 2025, if you're bored, most people drown themselves in internet noise. Now if you're bored, there is no true silence. There's always a screen, a laptop. There's always a need to be heard and seen. There's a need to watch other people's content. There's a need to just look at what people are doing across the world, whether it be through TikTok, YouTube, or reading the news about what happened in another country. That's all noise. Silence and solitude used to be your sanctuary. Back then, if you were bored, you'd play a video game maybe, on the Nintendos, the old Nintendo consoles. Maybe read a book. Maybe take a walk outside. Maybe listen to some music. Maybe write things down on your journal. Maybe play some guitar. But now we've turned that sanctuary into a portal. Now you're getting fed a bunch of noise from all of these things that don't really matter. Because think about it. You open up TikTok, you watch politics, you read news, you see people arguing online, you see internet drama, you watch YouTube videos of places across the world. Those are not things that you are experiencing, but the internet makes it feel like you are. And for most people, this is a portal that will never close. Most people, this is just their life, man. Consuming content, chronically online, social media, this constant need to perform, to showcase your life especially. I mean, the internet wasn't always bad. There were times where the internet was mainly a tool. So basically people would just use it as a tool and, they would close their computers and go about their lives. When the internet became a place where it's not just a tool, but it's a place you live in, that's when the internet became trash.